Gary Vee is back at it again with his next $1 million idea. This time, it's with a product from Topps Chrome called VeeFriends. Now, I'm sure you've heard some rumblings about VeeFriends over the past 4 years here, since Gary's been building it from an NFT into comic books. I know they did a collab with Squishmallows, and he's been building it up with a couple different card sets, Series 1, Series 2. I know they did some stuff with Zero Cool, and I've been kind of watching from the sidelines. It's not really my type of thing, but being a huge fan of Gary Vaynerchuk and everything that he's done, I really wanted to check it out. So I picked up some raw singles at my local card show, and I've been kind of collecting the last couple weeks. Now, I know I probably should have made this video a little bit sooner, but I wanted to wait a little bit and give VeeFriends Topps Chrome just a little bit of time to run its course and just see what happens throughout these first couple weeks here. So this product has been out for almost a month now, and for me, I've been watching for about a month before the product came out, maybe 2 months before. Gary Vee actually DM'd me, and we were talking a little bit, got to talking about VeeFriends a little bit, and he was just telling me, get educated, get in on this. So I really took that to heart. I went all in on VeeFriends. I was watching every piece of content that Gary put out about VeeFriends, watching all the VeeFriends cartoons. Yeah, I know that they're made for kids, but just kind of educating myself, learning the characters, learning the storylines, and just fully immersing myself in this VeeFriends world. And I can safely say, after about 3 months in this VeeFriends world, and this is coming from someone who's a sports collector, sports card collector, and I've had zero interest in any type of trading card game or anything that's non-sports pretty much ever. So it's kind of crazy for me. I know that there's probably some bias there, just knowing this is Gary Vaynerchuk's product and something that someone who I'm very fond of, and someone who I really take all of his content very seriously. So just wanted to put that out there first, that there is a bit of a bias in this video, but overall this video is going to be my impressions on VeeFriends Topps Chrome and what I see about it, the pros, the cons, and where I think it could go in the coming years. So without further ado, let's get into it. Like I said, I've been watching Gary's content since about 2017, maybe a little earlier, probably 2016ish. So I've been watching him for almost a decade now, and there's definitely a lot of bias in that. I definitely can see that this product is not for everybody, but at the same time, I think it should be for everybody. There are cards for everybody, there are characters for everybody, and there are storylines in the comic books that will be coming soon, hopefully, in the cartoons and throughout everything else that I think is just very helpful to everyday life and everyday people in general. So please don't take anything that I say in this video too seriously. This is just my opinion and what I think of this product and of Gary Vee in general. My initial thoughts on this product were, it was kind of cool. I could see both sides, but I could see people who hate it, see people who love it. For me, I was kind of right in the middle. Didn't really put much thought one way or the other to start it out, but I really wanted to get my hands on a box. Unfortunately, I did not hit a box in the Topps raffle, so didn't get the chance to purchase a hobby box at $100. And when I went to my local GameStop, they were already sold out on that Friday, so really bummed with that. And I had to kind of pivot and think of another way to buy cards. So what I did from that was, there was actually a card show this Saturday after that release. So it was like maybe 2 or 3 days after it released. I think maybe probably 2 days after it released. And I was able to buy a whole ton of base. I bought a ton of base cards, bought some yellow parallels and some other stuff. And for me personally, I got this stuff for super cheap. I want to say I paid $10 for everything. Got almost 200 cards, and there was not bad stuff. Like, you had the Speckle manga right here. You had a bunch of yellows. You had some refractors, and just like a little bit of everything. And for me, that was the perfect in. I didn't have to invest a ton of money into the product, and I really got to get my feet wet with it, get my hands on it, and really have this tangible item that I could feel and just kind of learn. And that's, for me, that's the best way to learn. I really do learn by just getting something in hand and being able to look at it, read them, and just learn the set, learn the characters that way. So the boxes did get a little bit out of hand. They were reselling for upwards of like $500-600, and the hobby boxes, that is, and then the blasters were going for like $120 when they were originally $25, I want to say. So never really got that, which made this a little bit tougher to get into it, but at least I got my hands on some. And after a while of playing with them and just kind of like learning it, collecting it, putting a binder together of them, my initial thought is this product is really cool. For me personally, it doesn't have the same appeal of sports cards where you can get autographs, you can get game used jersey cards, back cards, helmet cards, cleat cards, whatever you want. For me, that's what really makes me feel close to the game of baseball, basketball, and football when I'm collecting is being able to get those game used and autograph cards. So for me, that's a little bit of a tougher sell personally, but there is a lot of stuff going for this. First of all, I love the Entrepreneur Elf's favorite entrepreneur set. This one, I got the Kevin Hart one right here. I know there's a bunch of other. I know that there's Michael Rubin, there's Gary Vee has his own card. Obviously, it's his product. And Dana White has some. There's a bunch of other people. I think maybe Damon John has one from Shark Tank too. But I think that's a really cool subset. And I just think that that's kind of how you get more of the adult crowd into this from the beginning, is have actual names. Like, this feels more like a sports card to me. This feels like an Allen Ginter type card where you just got that random pop culture figure on the card, as opposed to the Patient Pig, which for me, this is one of my favorite characters in the VeeFriends world, and I love that card. I'm actually gonna, all of these ones in my hand right here, I'm actually gonna be grading, so I am gonna just take a chance on this. I'm gonna throw some of these off to PSA, see what happens, and if you had to ask me, I think the best case scenario with this is, if you're going to try to invest in VeeFriends, which, don't take advice from me, I'm just giving my personal opinion, but I would say if you're going to invest in this, I think your best bet is to buy sealed boxes of Topps Chrome and store those away. I really think within 24 months, if you're buying these boxes for $500 a piece now, I think that these boxes are going to be closer to 1,000 than they are going to be closer to zero within the next 12 to 24 months. So that's just my personal opinion, but for me, I'm going to grade a couple of these and throw them into a card case, collect them, enjoy them, look at them, and if they end up going up in value over the time, I will move them, because it's just part of the game. Sometimes you got to sell stuff to afford other things and buy other cards in this hobby, but for me, I really am excited to grade these, and we're going to see what happens. Outside of that, another initial thought that I had was, I love how they have the initial sketches that Gary made on the back. So you can see that on the back, they've got the original artwork. So right here, I've got the Sympathetic Squid. So there's that card right there. And then you flip it to the back, and it's got Gary's original sketch, which I think is really cool to see kind of what the mastermind behind it kind of envisioned, and then what the artists could create from that. So that's really cool to me, and I think that that's something that they can really build off of. I was watching the Gary Vee interview with Card Collector 2 on his Cards and Content podcast, and one other thing that I found really interesting with that was Gary said, I want you to pay attention to the competitive advantages, and he didn't say anything else. So I think as we move into the 2026 releases, into the next calendar year, I think that this may turn into some type of like a card game, or like something kind of like how the Series 1 and Series 2 were with Zero Cool. And that's going to be really interesting to me, because I can see myself actually getting a little more into it if it did turn into a card game in a Topps Chrome format, in a Topps Chrome Sapphire format, or just some type of Topps format in general. So now let's talk about the pros and the cons of this product. We'll start it off with the pros. This product for me is an absolute hit. Now, it's not something that I would go out and spend $500 on a box on, but after listening to a bunch of interviews and some daily V vlogs from Gary, I don't think that was his initial kind of point that he was trying to get, and I don't think he wanted these to resell for this much. So as we're looking ahead into 2026, I think that we'll see a little more of a production from this. So we're not gonna have to deal with paying $500 if we want to rip a box, because me personally, I would love to rip a box of this, but I just don't have the funds to spend $500 on a box right now. And if I'm going to spend $500 on a box, I'd probably go with a basketball or baseball product over a VeeFriends, but that's just coming from me personally as a sports fanatic. And also looking at the cards, I think that these cards are really, really nice quality. Gary did a great job with the designs. I love the sketches on the back, like I said, but overall, Topps's quality control has been great. I guess we're gonna know for sure after I send them out to grade if we're getting more 9s and 10s versus like 6, 7, 8, 9s type stuff. But for me, the cards all seem very centered. There's not many print marks on them, not many print lines, scratches, and they look really cool. And for me, as someone who's kind of new into the trading cards world space, and this is something that I would not normally pick up, I do think this is really cool. And if you even remotely like Gary, this is a product I would definitely recommend checking out. And as with every product, there has to be cons with it. And for me, I'm just trying to be as realistic as possible and be as truthful as possible in this video of what I kind of see of this product. And I definitely do see this product, I guess in the micro right here, in the small term, I do see this product kind of just going down over time. I can see over the first 6 months of this product, and since its release, I can see this kind of dropping. But I do think big picture, it will go up over time. And I think that the people who buy into these early ones, these Series 1 with the on them that they say first VF, first Chrome, so these are kind of like the rookies of these. I do think these will go up over time. I don't want to equate this to a 2012 Prism set or a 1952 Topps or like some inaugural set, 2020 WNBA Prism. I think this is I would compare this to 2020 WNBA Prism. I don't think it's going to be worth massive money, but I do see these being worth a good chunk of change down the road, and I see them being very collectible in the same way WNBA cards are. And as somebody who's deeply invested into the WNBA space, who loves collecting those cards, watching the games, and following the players, I think that the WNBA kind of collector base and the VeeFriends collector base is very similar. I think they're both very passionate collector bases that know what they want and they will pay what they want. For me, it's like you can look at that set. The Breanna Stewart card in that set, the Nafisa Collier, she's the number one card in that set, the first card of the entire 100 card set. That card is not anything special. It's a base Prism, but it still goes for like $5 a card because people love that stuff. And I think the same can be said for that with the very, very, very lucky black cat, the cynical cat, the patient pig, stuff like that. Entrepreneur elf, that's another one of my favorite cards in this one. But I think all of these over time will go up. Just wanted to make a brief little point about that. So where do I see this product going in the next 5 years? Well, if you ask me that right now, I don't have the best answer for you. For me, I like to take this product kind of day by day. I like to watch the content Gary puts out on a daily basis about it and just kind of learn a little bit about it every single day and learn a little bit more. But when I'm looking down the road, I know Gary has mentioned there's going to be a Sapphire release, which I think is going to be pretty cool to see a Topps Chrome Sapphire of this coming out. But I would love to see other products. Like I would love to see like a Topps Archives type product. It's something they do for baseball where they put a lot of different years designs of Topps baseball cards into a product with the current players. I would love to see that with this product where they add like, oh, we have a 1963 design, a 1975 design, a 1989 design, where they make all this kind of just mash of cards and they put it into one box, one product, so you get a wide variety. And I think another thing to Gary, if you're watching this video, that is how I think you can get these sports cards collectors in. You already have me in because I'm a fan of your content, fan of everything you do, everything you put out. But I think just hitting that nostalgia and pulling back collectors who love those very infamous top sets, like make that 1961 design, make that 1969 design with the little bubble. That would be so cool to see the Entrepreneur Elf on a 1969 Topps card. So I think that'd be really cool to see down the line, and I don't know if that's realistic or not, but I would love to see that. I also mentioned a little earlier in the video about how Gary said something about the competitive advantages, and just to pay a little bit closer attention to that as we move in to different sets down the line. And I think it would be really cool to see this turn into more of a card game where you could play it. And I like I've said a couple times in this video too, I really do see the appeal of this to maybe that 14 years old and younger group. And I can see the appeal to parents as they're showing it to their kids and they're watching it with their kids. But for me, I'm 26. I don't have kids. I don't see the appeal to a lot of people who aren't deeply invested in this space. And for me, I love it. Like I've said, I'm going to keep saying it. This product is really cool to me. I love the creativity behind it. I love the design behind it. It really is some great art, and it's a cool product. But I think there's just got to be a way to hit down to that maybe 20, or I don't know, maybe hit that 17 to 30 age demographic, where I think those are some of the most passionate collectors and flippers in the world. So if you can reach the collector side, which I think Gary's doing a really great job of right now, but if you can find a way to also reach the flippers and the sports card buyers and sellers, that's going to be a huge success for Gary if he can somehow reach that throughout the next couple of years here. And I'm excited to watch it. I'm excited to watch and be a fan of VeeFriends and be very vocal about how much I do enjoy the product. And one more thing, Gary, if you're watching this, I really hope that I can sit down with you at the National, rip a couple packs, and make a video about ripping VeeFriends at the National. That would be so cool. I've been watching your content for the past 9 years, and I know you've DM'd me a couple times on Instagram, which is one of the coolest moments of my like social media and MiniGraphs99 account journey, I guess you can call it, was seeing that DM from you and you reaching out and talking to me about VeeFriends and giving me some advice on the content side of things. So I think that would be so cool if you can do that. I will be at the National for a couple days this summer, and I'm hoping we can make that happen. But if not, we will definitely keep supporting the brand, and we will continue supporting you, Gary. So in conclusion, like I said, I've got a little bit of a bias towards this product, but I think overall it's a really cool product, and I've picked out 17 different cards here, and I'm gonna grade a bunch of these ones with PSA, so that should be interesting to see. I picked out some of these yellows because I was buying these for like 10 cents pretty much, and they're going for like $5 to $10 a piece, so I figured I'll throw a little bit of money into them. We're gonna grade some and just see what happens. This one's cool. I love this refractor of the Patient Pig. This is probably gonna be the one that I keep in my PC for the longest. It's like the first refractor I got, and I just think it's an awesome looking card with a great character. The Perfect Persian Cat right here, that one is actually numbered out of 350. That one's gonna be cool. Might actually keep that one as well, but overall, I love these cards. I'm going to continue collecting them, and I hope you guys will enjoy them as well. If you guys have any comments about VeeFriends, please please drop them in the comments, and let's have some conversations about what you think about the product. For me personally, like I said a bunch of times, I think it's cool, and let's just hear what you got to say in the comments. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We will catch you in the next video. Peace.